Hello, my friends. It's gonna be, well, maybe a while before I'm back in the Northlands again, if our adventures go the way that they are looking they're going to go. So I figured this summer, while I'm still up here, I should spend some time sharing some knowledge of some of the northern plants. And well, this isn't exactly a plant, but you've all heard of chaga. Chaga is this marvelous, marvelous creature. It looks almost like a black cancerous mass. A lot of people have done some great, really good videos on chaga. So I'm going to try not to repeat any material here. And granted, take this with a grain of salt because I don't get to watch much YouTube. But I'm not sure if anybody has covered the 3 different kinds or textures of chaga and how each of them has a different use. So today I want to get you a little bit more familiar with this amazing fungus. Chaga, before we go onward, can be contentious because not too long ago, this was something that was harvested just by people that were really versed in woods lore. Most people had never heard of it. Now somebody told me they saw a drink in a aluminum can, a chaga drink, which means as it starts to go mainstream, it can start to be over harvested, and that would be a really sad and bad thing. So if you do harvest chaga, really do so responsibly. One of my favorite ways is to think about places where the chaga is going to be killed off anyway. If you live in an area where there's chaga, they're very well maybe logging as well. And usually if I go up and I talk to the loggers and I say, hey, I wanted to go and gather a few things in the woods before it's chopped down, they're perfectly fine with it. So if you know that birch trees are going to be chopped down in an area near you, go talk to those loggers and they might be fine with you going in and pulling these huge black chunks of weird charness off of the birch trees. And when you do break it open, you're going to see the insides, and that's what I want to show you in this video. Okay, so what we've got is this inside of the fungus. And most people, there's the outside. Most people have heard about, say, there's 2 parts to it. There's the outer black part, and then there's the inner orange part. But for bushcrafting purposes, we really have to think of it as 3 different kinds of chaga, 3 different parts of this fungus. And what I mean by 3 kinds is 3 different densities, essentially. Out here on the edge is a really hard, dense material. Now, that stuff, it's almost rock hard. That part is what I use for tea. Now, you can use all the parts for tea. They all have different medicinal properties, so it's good to use some of all of it. But that outer part is essentially my go-to for tea. This middle part, okay, so from here to here, we have this darker orange, and you can't always tell by the color, but you can tell by how hard it is. I can dent it with my fingernail, and it is of a medium density. That is the part that we use for notchless hand drill fires, which I'll show you in a second. Then down here, we have this stuff that's really like cork. I can just peel it apart with my fingernails. That part, I can break chunks off of it. That is an ideal coal extender. So we have tea making, we have hand drill, we have coal extender. For our fire making purposes, these 2 are going to work in conjunction in a really neat way. And what happens is that we can drill in here and get our ember, and we can break off a piece from here, reach in, grab our little ember, in that coal extender, put this out, and use this to start our fire. Part of the magic with the hand drill and Chaga, as I said, it's notchless. So you can do it with minimal tools. All you need is a stock and a piece of Chaga. Here I've got a piece of Canada horseweed. But how are we going to do this? We're so used to putting stuff on the ground and hand drilling that sometimes we can be paralyzed when it comes time to be in a situation like this with deep snow. So we have to practice our skills. You've heard me preach this 1,000 times. In other conditions other than inside or on a nice warm day. First, I'm collecting a little bit of sap from this, which is a balsam fir. I don't know if you can see that coming out of there, but I'm just going to spread a little bit of that on my spindle to make sure that it's a little bit easier for me today. Very cold, my hands will be numb. Here, there's a couple ways. One is to use my knees. Another method is waiting right here. Sometimes we can find a tree that's going to hold it for us. A little bit more. Okay, let me bring you up here and show you this. Is that showing? You see that orange in there? Now what I'm going to do I just touch it to that, and then I've brought out my little piece of Chaga that is going to be, let's see if I can get myself into the camera here. It's going to be fit for starting a fire. That's the magic of this fungus. This is the soft, corky stuff that I was talking about. And we used the middle density back here to get our coal. Now often that is going to be burning too, so we've got to put it out or it's just going to keep going and going. Isn't that beautiful? One other thing I want to point out about this. Here, people were using the soft part. Sometimes you can get an ember that way, but look how much. That's 2 attempts. And I'm not even sure if it got an ember or not. It uses a lot of chaga. This one up here, that hole, look at the depth of it. Almost nothing. That's been 5 fires. So if you use the correct part of the chaga, you can, out of this, there's probably 100 fires using this method because it uses almost no chaga to do this. Be sure though, as I said, to put it out afterwards, because otherwise if you leave any ember in there, it will burn through your entire chaga. You'll come back and the whole thing will be a giant ember and the chaga will be destroyed. That is just part of the magic of chaga. There are so many things in whatever environment you're living in that are like this. We're going to hear about how to use something on YouTube, but we can listen to experts, but we can also explore on our own. Nobody ever told me about this. It was just through years of being around chaga and using it for different things that I learned this. The world is open like that to all of us if we start exploring, if we start looking at things and saying, okay, somebody told me this about it, but I wonder how else or what else there might be about it that's hidden away. The same goes with techniques. You've seen plenty of people doing hand drill, but remembering that there might be a time when you have to put it between your knees. So practice that. There might be a time when everything is super snowy like this and it works better to put it up there in the tree. Try different ways. That was a different angle I had to drill at. It uses different muscles. If I didn't practice those things, then I wouldn't be able to do it when I need to. Thank you, chaga. My friends, thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of what we do here. Adventure on. Can't wait to see what you have to say in the comments. Have you worked with chaga? What do you think of it? What's your favorite way to make chaga tea? And do you have any other really good tips for sustainable harvesting of chaga? All right, love to you all.